What's up, y'all? Welcome to a fantabulous episode of the Creative Differences podcast.
Okay.
I'm Dallas, and I'm here despite Demi and Gabby trying to vote me out of this episode in our group chat.
Nobody tried to vote you out the episode.
I would argue that Demi was not intentionally trying to vote you out. Gabby was.
Fair.
What? No, I wasn't.
Context.
But also, I'm Gabby, and I am feeling attacked right now.
I'm Colin, and Gabby knows what she did.
What did I do?
I'm Demi, and I'm just glad that I got, an innocent verdict in that.
Wait, what did I do?
Okay, so here's the thing.
Because technically, I think Demi had voted before you asked Gabby.
Yeah.
So to me...
Well, Demi voted for the soonest one.
Right, which is...
And I then
which
also
was
voted
voting
for the
me
soonest
out.
one.
Right, but I
No,
don't
no.
think it
You
was
did not.
to vote you
I
out.
didn't.
The initial voting was the earliest one, had you in it.
Oh, Thursday?
Yes.
Okay,
That was the initial vote that I made.
So what happened to Thursday?
So I chose Friday because Gabby didn't want to miss it and because I'd been there all day.
Got it. Yes, so there were options, and I was like, well, I don't want to vote for an option that makes Gabby miss it if she wants to be in it. So I was like, Gabby, do you want to be in it? And she was like, yes. And then Gabby voted for the option that left me out of it.
Yeah, she did do that.
So I'm innocent.
No deliberation whatsoever with me.
I'm
Just
sorry.
Bye, Dallas. And then she couldn't do it anyway. So here we are.
Yes. So it worked out.
It worked out.
Not in Demi's favor, though.
Yes.
Not because of Dallas, but...
I'm here. Ha! But yes, if you couldn't guess, we're talking about Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn. No, Harley Quinn, colon,
Colon, I think.
colon, Birds of Prey.
That's not the actual official name. We are talking about Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
Yeah, but the other one makes more sense.
Yeah, and this
It
one
does, honestly.
But this one is way more fun,
I
which is more fitting for the movie itself.
guess.
This is debatable. The movie's fun. That's not that
Yeah.
is also debatable, but like not around the table.
Also, we're going to talk about Little Women because
We are.
What?
yeah, because you
Surprise.
saw it and I've seen it. So
I wasn't
that's
planning
two
on
of us.
reviewing that today.
Well,
Well, I
might
guess
as
you
well.
are now.
We're not
Welcome to it. Talk about some whites.
It was a really beautifully made movie. All right, so on to Birds of Prey. What did you guys think of the movie of Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn?
I liked it.
Yeah, it was dope.
Whoever's hating on it, I don't understand. I really don't.
It's fun.
I mean, some people don't like things.
Yeah. I mean, I get why certain people wouldn't like it because, for example, I watched it twice. The second time I watched it with Kayla and Jordan, they pointed out to me how similar this movie is to Deadpool 2. Which is so weird because
Is it?
Colin loves this movie. Yes, it is. Because Colin loves this movie, and Colin doesn't like Deadpool.
What it is for me is
There you go.
Deadpool A breaks the fourth wall more, which I really don't like when anything does that. Harley does it too, but it's less like Deadpool will specifically reference things from our world to be like, ah ha ha, I'm talking to you, the viewer. And Harley doesn't do that, which makes her far less annoying
To you.
to me.
Opinions on the movie.
I liked it. I think my only problem with it was that there wasn't enough Birds of Prey.
Yeah. That's why it's not really a Birds of Prey movie.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely
Harley Quinn
just a
movie.
Harley Quinn.
It's like a
movie.
Birds of Prey prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. But as annoying as that is for me as a Birds of Prey fan and a Black Canary fan, the movie being so fun and being such a good movie compensates for that.
Yeah.
And also, getting Black Canary correct majorly compensates for that.
Fair.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I love this movie so much. I just came out of seeing it for the third time. And every single time, it's just so much fun. And I'm just so happy about it. I'm just so happy about this movie existing. So thank you, Margot Robbie, for making the decision to make a Birds of Prey movie when you could have done any more popular superhero title, because Birds of Prey deserve some attention, and so do the characters in this movie. I love Black Canary. Huntress is really great in this movie. Renee
love
Montoya is great.
Huntress is like my favorite part of this movie.
She
She's
was
so-
so great. The
Oh my
part
God.
with the mirror. Oh,
Yeah, all of her
beautiful.
scenes are really great. And I just... Where's her movie?
right?
Because I want to watch that.
I want to see her being really awkward, but also badass at the same time.
I need all of the movies for all of the Birds of Prey. I need them to find a way to get Batman into this universe so that we can see Montoya interact with Gordon. I need to see Huntress be Huntress.
Yeah, I
I
definitely
think
would
it's
watch a
amazing.
Huntress. I would watch a Canary movie.
I
Yeah.
gotta see a Canary movie.
I don't know
man.
about-
I don't think I'd watch a Montoya movie.
Probably.
'cause
That's
just
why I'm
a
like
cop
Montoya
movie.
needs to
yeah,
be
that's just
in
a cop movie.
in a
Yeah.
Batman movie or
But yeah,
a
work
Birds
her
of Prey
into some more
sequel.
stuff.
Yeah, she could be like the Coulson character, kind of.
The what?
Coulson.
Coulson.
Oh, Coulson.
I can't spend too much time talking about this movie. There are just so many details that I adore. Like, there are tiny details.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the first time I saw it, there's a scene of Montoya in the hotel room apartment. I don't know where she is. She's in a bedroom somewhere. And if you look at the TV screen in the background, it's got Arlene Sorkin doing the role that inspired Harley Quinn, the character.
I didn't notice. Like, I saw that, but I didn't know that was her.
Yeah.
Until I watched a YouTube video where a guy like breaks down everything in every movie. He's like, Arlene Sorkin. I was like, oh my God, Arlene, OG Harley.
I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
That was really dope.
And then literally after I saw the movie the first time, I dropped $30 on Birds of Prey comics and was reading some, and like the yellow car that Black Canary drives is pretty comic accurate. Like that's actually a thing in the comic book. She drives this yellow car.
That's dope.
And like, I was just like, wow, man, the details like of this movie. When I watched it the third time, looking at Huntress's costume, she's got like this mesh that if it's lit in a certain way, it looks purple. Like, I was just like, these are all such small details, and they're all so very perfect.
It was also very clearly directed by a woman. Like that hair tie scene, I was like, I feel validated.
Yes, you screamed in the theater.
Right?
And in the hallway after the movie.
Because it was so good. Also, it was just like, it's one of those things that like, only in a group of girls, I feel like, have I experienced that, where it's like, oh, does anybody have a hair tie? And like, that's like, that's like your homegirl will give you her hair tie. There's like a bonding that has to happen before somebody's willing to take something out of their own head and give it to you.
Yeah. Also, the stunt coordination in this movie, all the scenes, like Harley's fun gun scene, like the entire prison sequence.
I want to talk about that. Not that scene specifically, maybe. But shout out to Chad Stahelski.
Yes.
He directed John Wick, and he's the one they brought in for the stunt coordination.
Well, also,
of course,
they were working with. Well, I don't think he did all the stunt coordination. His stunt team, though, is the one that did
unit.
The movie,
and
then he did some of the reshoots.
Mm-hmm. And
beautiful.
This movie has some of the best fight scenes I've seen in a superhero movie in a long time.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Aside from the fact that the villains still do that thing where they go one by one, but that's just that's comic. That's gonna happen.
It's typical. It's fighting.
But
it's fighting movies.
The action is just so dope because I was like, it's a superhero movie, bang bang, shoot shoot. But
yeah,
like,
the fun gun scene.
Ridiculous things when she bounces that bat off the ground. It's the dude in the face. And it's cool because it's ridiculous in a way where I can accept it because it's a comic book movie. Mm-hmm. Like when she lights the dude's beard on fire, I was like, I'm watching a comic book movie. I'm cool with this. I don't have to worry about like, the physics of that. Like, no, I know that roller skating car scene doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's a cool comic book movie.
But they also actually did that scene.
I'm talking about. Never mind. This is spoiled. Never mind.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I adore the fact that I think. It's like you said, it's a superhero movie. You expect a certain type of action. Mm-hmm. I adore the fact that this movie at least tries to be unique with it. Yeah. Every character has their own fighting style. And I feel like when you go watch a movie, you're like, in universe, yes, these characters have different fighting styles. Yeah. But when you're watching the movie, they don't really have different fighting styles. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, Harley has a lot of gymnastics and acrobatics in her fighting. Black Canary is very much a, like almost a professional street brawler. Like everything. She uses
kicks, his punches.
Yeah.
She's aggressive.
And she's aggressive. And Huntress is very precise because she's been trained by assassins.
She's stabby.
Yeah. So like
and that's one of the things that Kayla and I were talking about, because one of Kayla's favorite things was watching Montoya in the background of the fight scene. Because all those things you listed, like, these are superheroes to put it simply. And Montoya is a cop, a small woman, and she's fighting like giant dudes, and she's just hitting until they go down. Because it's like her style is, I'm gonna beat you with this crowbar until you stop. And it's like, Huntress is stabbing with arrows, Canary is doing all these kicks, and Montoya is doing whatever she gotta do to get the job done.
On freaking roller skates.
I love that.
With a bat.
Yeah, like this movie went out of its way to be like, we're making a superhero movie, but let's try and be unique about it. Mm-hmm. Let's do some fun stuff. The fun gun, for instance, is
that was so much fun.
I want to make a replica of it. It's so cool.
That's so cool.
But like,
and the glitter is what really,
the glitter, the confetti, the mustard, everything that she's shooting at people.
The glitter really did it for me though, because it was like, of course Harley's gonna have a bullet full of glitter. Like the blue and the pink made sense, but when that glitter came out, I was like, yes, this movie knows what it is.
Run, Piggy, run.
The way she said that line, that is one of the most.
I loved that line so
Yeah,
much.
but also a few other comic things that I love, like the relationship between Harley and Dinah is very much similar to the relationship in the Injustice comics. They're really weird friendship dynamic.
Yeah.
It's really weird, but like it works. I'm never gonna get over this Black Canary being so comic accurate. That canary cry, man.
That was dope.
It took everything in me not to cheer in the theater. Like I was in my seat, like
I
control.
was surprised that you did it.
I was like, control yourself, control yourself, control
There are
yourself.
certain moments where I am certain Gabby was looking down where you were sitting.
Oh,
to
I
see how you were
was.
gonna
I was
react. Like I
trying- I
saw
was
Gabby
like-
like leaning in her seat
like,
to
this
see how
is
you were
me.
reacting.
Oh my!
me.
Well, when it happened, when the cry did happen, though, I did like almost scrunch up on myself and pull myself into my seat because I was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is a thing that is happening on screen." And she's played by Journey Smollett-Bell, who I don't know a world without Journey's acting.
Right.
Yeah.
So like for her to play my favorite DC character and play her so perfectly,
Yeah.
like she's not quite Black Canary in this movie yet, but she is Dinah Laurel Lance. That's important to me.
Yeah.
Oh my
She's a
gosh.
really dope version of it too.
Like she's still got the anger and the stubbornness.
I love the anger because in the alley when she's fighting those two dudes and one of them gets a hit in and she's just so mad. She's like screaming while she's punching them. You mother! And he's like punching them in the face.
But she's also still really kind and compassionate. And like the moment that she has the scene of her and Cassandra when they talk for the first time, in that moment I was just like, oh my gosh, that's Dinah. Like that's the Dinah I know. That's my Black Canary. Like that maternal instinct just automatically just perfect. Just it was just I was like, I can't believe this exists, and I need a Green Arrow movie so that her and Green Arrow can interact and like fall in love while bickering about the fact that she knows a person who uses a crossbow and not a bow and arrow. Like
Oh my god.
that's what I want,
Oh, Huntress.
and I need it so desperately. Gosh. Also, the fashion in this movie, love it.
Dude, yeah.
I love some of it.
What
So,
don't you like?
Here's the thing. All the stuff that we've been talking about that gets us so excited, it's because I really like comic books, superhero shows, all the stuff that I grew up with. And when they do it in a way that reminds me of like the stuff I grew up with, I'm like, thank you so much. Like Huntress at the end when she has a pretty much accurate costume.
Yeah, very
at that last
accurate.
Birds of Prey scene.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. And I'm gonna preface this by saying I get like nitpicky about stuff for no reason. I was bothered by the fact that Joker's suit wasn't purple in the Joker movie. Like the one that he wore through the show. I was like, but just give him a purple suit. Come on, why not just give him a purple suit?
Like the one at the
So,
beginning of this movie.
And I hesitate to say this.
Oh my god, just
Because
say
every
it.
time someone complains about Harley's look, they're like, oh, you just want her to be sexualized. And I'm like, no. Can I get some red and black at
Well,
least?
she does at the end of the movie.
At the end, and there's like subtle parts of it, but
That's
that
the
outfit
thing
she
is-
wears in the scene where she's drunk and it's like confetti.
The caution tape?
Or like, kind of. Yeah, it's like
Oh.
shredded caution tape.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's like street signs
I
and
hate
stuff.
that.
I think that outfit is
I love that thing.
hideous.
It's
so
ridiculous.
much.
See, I
And
don't
it's
like that jacket,
I-
but I like what she's wearing underneath it.
No,
the
no.
Harley shirt with the shorts.
That's, yeah,
and
because
the-
it has like the red and black and kind
I
of Harlequin
adore
thing.
that jacket. That
And
jacket
it's like-
gives me so much life.
I
That
like her last
jacket is
jacket.
something I could see
I
Harley
love that
wearing.
so much.
Harley is
I would wear
ridiculous.
that
She's
too.
crazy. She can do what she wants. But like aesthetically, I'm like, this looks ridiculous. I don't like the blue blazer thing either.
I love that blazer.
I was just like, what? But you know, when your
But I
character
love
is
that-
that type of character,
yeah.
it works in context. But I'm just like,
I love
give her a red and black blazer
well,
or something.
I love it because underneath it, she's wearing the red and black
Again,
top.
yeah. And I'm just like, huh.
I feel like it's weird that comic book movies either they're too afraid to go accurate to the comics because they think it'll look ridiculous, so they do it subtly, or they give you what you want, but it takes forever. And I feel like Harley Quinn and this movie in particular is the one movie where you don't have to be afraid to do it because of what this movie is. It doesn't matter if it looks ridiculous. Who cares? This whole movie is ridiculous.
I just want to say that Black Canary's
I don't
entire
think it-
closet is.
Oh, she was like upsettingly hot. Like everything
Oh,
she wears
we
is
didn't-
incredible.
We also did not talk about Ewan McGregor's performance as Roman
Oh,
Sionis.
dude, he was freaking
I
wild. He was
don't-
having so much
like,
fun.
I like him, but I think if you, I can't really say this, but I like him. I do not need to see more of him.
No, I don't need to see more of him either.
no,
but
he
he's
served his purpose.
Phenomenal in this movie.
I think
he was having so much
performance-wise,
fun.
he was on point.
Yeah, I think that character.
The
is just a little
characterization
much.
bothered me a bit. Like, I know it's supposed to. There are definitely scenes where like he's supposed to get to you, and I'm like, Ewan, I like what you're doing. You're doing a little too much of it, and like, I think that's writing and directing. to an extent.
I think he's great.
But
I think
I knew I would like him from the trailer when he's like, "Who's having a good time?" and he's dancing around. I'm like, "Okay, Black Mask."
The thing about him is like I like him, but also he's not terribly scary.
I don't
Like
agree.
there is one scene where
Yeah,
it's like,
I
he's
disagree.
menacing in this scene, and in no other scene was I like, I would be afraid of you. Like afraid of you in the sense of I don't know what you're gonna do, but not afraid of you because I have seen what you do and it's terrifying.
Yeah, no, I don't agree, but that could
Yeah,
be because I am a
disagree.
woman.
Yeah.
If
think
I
that's
came
what it
across a
is.
man like that, I would be frightened.
I have been near men like that, and it's not fun.
Yeah.
I agree with Colin because when I watch a movie, I don't always put myself in the situation of if I met you in real life. It's just like from the context of watching this movie as a villain, like I should feel some kind of fear.
It's also weird to me because one of the things I was expecting, I don't know the character very well, but I thought he was going to do more. He himself does like nothing in this movie.
He's like a mob boss.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess
I think that's what made him
I
scarier.
think see, yeah, I
There
guess that
was
just
no
doesn't work
consequences
for me.
him.
I wanted to see what makes him fearsome on his own. Just
Yeah.
feels like anybody can command a bunch of goons.
Right.
What makes you special?
Final consensus.
I thought it was really dope. Still a little disappointed that it's more of a Harley movie than the Birds of Prey movie.
Yeah.
but
Same.
I
think-
want the Birds of Prey sequel.
Yes.
Now I just keep thinking of ways that it's similar to Deadpool 2. So I'm just going to keep thinking of that for a few days. But I love both of those movies, so it works out.
Ah, man, I love this movie. It's so much fun. And like, I am also disappointed about the Harley thing. I get it. Like, you think people don't give a shit about these characters, so we have to attach them to somebody people know and like. That makes sense. This is now the perfect opportunity to take Harley, put her in the Gotham City Sirens movie that's still happening, and then
That's
it's
not-
still happening.
Is it?
It is not in production. They were going to wait until after Birds of Prey came out, but it is still happening.
Okay.
David Ayer is still attached to it. In theory, they are still moving forward with that.
I hope
In
Margot.
David
theory.
Ayer as a director?
Yeah.
I hope Margot's producing.
Never mind.
But like, put her in that and have that happen, and then give the Birds of Prey their own movie now that you've established who they are.
That's true.
Gabby, your thoughts?
They're basically similar to Dallas's. I thought it was a really great movie. I'm mildly disappointed that it was more Harley and less Birds of Prey. Also, one more thing. I loved the hyena. I'm glad that they included
Bruce.
that.
Yes.
Yes.
Doesn't she usually have two?
She
Yes.
does.
Yes,
but-
she does.
Bud and Lou.
Bud and Lou.
But yeah.
Yeah, if you couldn't tell, I've seen this movie 3 times, and I bought $30 worth of Birds of Prey comics after I saw it the first time. So I absolutely adore this film. I'm planning on seeing it again in theaters, and I just highly recommend it because it's a good comic book film, and it's just a good, fun film in general if you just want to have some fun for like almost 2 hours. I agree. It's more Harley than Birds of Prey, which is, you guys already heard me complain about that months ago, so hey, I already got that out there. Oh, and I didn't even talk about how Margot Robbie's performance as Harley Quinn. I still think Margot as Harley Quinn is one of the greatest superhero castings ever,
Yeah.
up there with Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man.
I feel like this
Interesting.
movie,
I agree.
because I watched Suicide Squad a few hours before watching Birds of Prey for the first time, and that movie is fine. And she kind of got on my nerves in that one, and I feel like this movie, she knows the character more, and she like inhabits the character better, and I don't know, it just feels
This movie
more
also
natural.
puts more of an emphasis on the intelligence behind Harley's insanity, which I really appreciate because that's what I love about Harley Quinn. But the cast is amazing, and I want every spin-off and every sequel that you can possibly get out of this movie. I want a Black Canary movie. I want a Huntress movie. I want a Green Arrow movie. I want a Birds of Prey 2. I want whatever movies you can... A Gotham City Sirens versus the Birds of Prey movie. Whatever you can give me with these characters, I want more of it.
Gotham City Sirens versus Birds of Prey.
Yes. I also want Dinah's tattoo from this movie. And shout out to the costume designer for making that mesh outfit for her at the beginning of the movie.
Wait, what tattoo?
She has a...
Canary.
Nobody notices. She has a canary tattoo on her right shoulder, and I absolutely adore it. It was the first thing that I noticed when they have that shot, and I was like, I kind of want it. And then this time around, I think I noticed that it has a couple of yellow accents in it as well. So I want it so bad. But we should move on to the next
You didn't
topic.
say anything about Cassandra Cain.
We also
I'm
didn't say
sorry
anything about Mr. Zaz.
For
Yeah, but Cassandra Cain.
I'm sorry for all of you Cassandra Cain fans out there. That is not Cassandra Cain.
It's just a kid. Good acting from
Oh yeah,
Jay Bosco.
she's fantastic.
So like, yeah, if you're looking for a Batgirl Cassandra Cain? Nah,
That's not her.
Oh.
I mean, I can see
Yeah,
her
no,
becoming her,
It's not.
maybe.
but that's not her.
Yeah,
No,
this is-
that's not her.
It's more of a Stephanie
I
Brown,
feel like
Harper
they
Row
used
type of
a,
character.
Street
Yeah.
urchin.
Or like they just used the name for the name's sake.
I know how you guys feel. I'm so sorry.
It'd be like that sometimes. Moving on
Onward.
to our section that changes every week. This week it's what's getting you going.
Okay. I like that.
All right, thank you. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Oh goodness gracious.
So Harley Quinn is getting me going. Harley Quinn has a TV show.
Okay, all right.
What?
See, now
What? What's wrong?
when you first said the name, I was fine with it.
Yeah.
And now you said this, and I'm less fine with it.
It's the name of the show. What do you want me to do?
Proceed.
Thank you. Harley Quinn, TV series on DC Universe. They got some good stuff on that streaming service. It's developed by Justin Halpern, Patrick Shoemaker, and Dean Lorey, who was a writer on Arrested Development and the producer of My Wife and Kids. Also, all three of these guys worked together on a show called Powerless, which is a show I wanted to watch but never did. It takes place in the DC Universe.
Oh my God, I watched it.
And it has
Vanessa Hudgens is in
Vanessa
it.
Hudgens,
Yes,
Danny Pudi,
I
and Ron Funches.
Wait, was
Loved
that
show? I was mildly devastated. when I
the
was-
like DC one with like the people who have to clean up after the heroes? Or
Yes.
is that a
Kind of
different
like
one?
they sell products for like the ordinary citizens.
Right. I remember when
Yes.
that was coming out.
I loved that show. I was so disappointed when it got canceled.
Yeah. I wanna see
Also,
it.
the intro was really great because it would like focus on a superhero, and then the actual actor in the show would be in the background in like cartoon form, and
That's dope.
so it was great. I love that show.
But back to this show. This one stars Kaylee Cuoco, Lake Bell, Alan Tudyk again, Ron Funches again, Tony Hill, ... So many people. Yes, Gabby.
Is Alan Tudyk the Joker?
He is the Joker. He's
And-
also Clayface.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Alan Tudyk plays at least 2 or 3 people on the show. And he's so
Yes.
great.
Use him
But-
to his full potential.
This show, and it's no fault, like it's not the movie's fault, but I've been watching this show for 13 weeks.
Of course.
And no disrespect to Margot Robbie because she's great, but like it's just
Kaylee Cuoco.
Kaylee is killing it.
Well, it's like the thing
The
for
Harley,
me.
like the live action Harley falls a bit short for me because I've been watching this show for like 2 months, and this Harley I'm just so in love with from the animated show.
It also got confusing for me because I watched Suicide Squad, and at the end of that, Harley like falls out of a helicopter because they get shot or something. And I remember watching Birds of Prey, or I remember at the end of Suicide Squad, I was like, wait, I thought Joker pushed her out of the helicopter, but no, that happens in the show.
Yes.
And it doesn't happen in the movie. And it's just like, oh, I'm so confused because they're similar enough,
Yeah,
but just
both
not.
the show and Birds of Prey the movie.
But see,
start
also,
with the breaking
yeah,
up.
I see what you're saying because I kind of start thinking now, well, if King Shark in the Suicide Squad isn't like the one in the show, I'm going to be disappointed. If Ivy isn't like the one in the show, I'm going to be disappointed. Like,
Wait, Poison Ivy's on the show?
She's
Of course,
yeah,
she's
she's
Harley's
She's Harley's
girlfriend.
roommate.
I mean, no,
They're
but
not dating
Harley's
in the show.
girlfriend.
They're-
I mean, it's
Yeah.
her girlfriend.
sometimes it's not.
I mean, but it. Fine.
Harley's girlfriend.
I mean, the way that Joker is her boyfriend, like sometimes he's not, like in this show and this movie.
You're right, and
Now
if you
I
told
have
me-
to watch it because Ivy's my favorite.
If you
Oh,
tell
you should definitely watch it. I think you'll love Ivy in the show.
yeah, probably.
Like I've always wanted.
You
Like
should.
I like if when I was a kid, I would like superheroes or whatever. Like
Mhm.
which one would you play? I would play Poison Ivy.
Oh, good.
Even though I like the MCU more, I would like turn my back on the MCU to play Poison Ivy, regardless of how good or bad the movie is. Like that's how much I wanted to play Poison Ivy.
But and that brings me to my next point. First off, Kaylee Cuoco's killing it, and so is everyone else
Absolutely.
on the show. But they mess with characters in a way that, because this show is a straight up comedy, and it's very dark, very violent, very over the top. Like certain parts, it reminds me of the Birds of Prey movie, but just way more over the top. And they mess with the characters in a way that it would bother me if it wasn't so funny. Like Clayface in the comics and in the TV show, he's an actor and he can change his face, but he's a villain. In this show, he's a thespian, like played by Alan Tudyk.
Of course.
So he's like,
He's like to be or not.
Oh, yeah.
to be.
exactly. That's exactly how he delivers all of his lines. There's a part, I don't want to spoil too much, but like Poison Ivy gets kidnapped and they think that she's been poisoned. And he says, I fear they've poisoned Ivy. And they all just look at him. He's like, I should have saved that for a lower stakes situation.
A lower stakes.
Alan Tudyk is amazing. And it's just like, I look at these characters and I'm like, all of you guys are capable of so much more. But they're just like these buffoons on the show. King Shark is the best.
He's one of my favorite characters I've ever
He
seen.
is the
I don't know who
best.
King Shark
He's a
is.
giant shark man. And in the comics, he's just like a scary shark dude, because that's what you would be if you're a giant shark dude. But he's like an IT guy in the show, and he's super friendly.
Oh.
He has the most adorable tiny pair of glasses.
Oh.
Oh my god!
Fine, I will watch it.
You really should.
We need to show you the show. But they still do all of the villain stuff. And then Bane is, oh my God. I can't describe Bane right now. But
All right.
it's a really good show. And I kind of wish Birds of Prey would have came out first.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, man, I want Kaylee Cuoco to do this.
Fair.
But it's an amazing show. Just watch it.
Cool.
Yeah, just watch it. Gabby,
Yes.
are you going to talk about Little Women?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it because I want to.
Okay.
Because I saw it,
And do your thing.
and it basically got re-released ish for the Oscars. So
Did it ever leave theaters?
no, it didn't because it came out so late.
I was going to say it never left.
That's
It
not
was
a
always
re-release.
there.
It's not a re-release. If
No, I know. Usually they do a re-release though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
sometimes. They came out on Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
right
didn't have
about
to worry
it.
about that.
Exactly. Anyway, it was great. I was ugly crying the entire time.
The entire time?
Yes.
The whole time.
Thank
the
you.
whole time, like to the point where my boyfriend like looked at me and he was like, "Are you okay?"
Oh,
we
yeah, I
need
saw
to
you
leave?"
after the movie.
Yeah.
And I was worried.
Oh, because I cried the whole time.
Yeah, I saw it today before I went to go see Birds of Prey. Went for the double women empowerment.
Did you ugly
Feature.
cry the whole
Hour.
time?
Did not.
No, I definitely ugly cried because of stress and hormones more
Oh,
than,
not like the movie itself?
but also the movie itself.
Okay.
When there's a character that dies in it, and that character's like the nicest.
Well, of course, that's how it goes. You don't
one
kill
of
the
them
asshole.
all.
You have to kill the nice ones so that it hurts more.
Yeah, and that fucking gutted me. And the worst part was they intercut. They do a lot of like.
They do a thing where they go back and forth in the timeline from the past to the present, and I think that Greta Gerwig did a really great job of going back and forth because every transition is thematically or plot relevant to the next piece of the story or to where we're about to head, and it really creates a phenomenal emotional contrast.
And there's like that a really good dichotomy. It's just, it was well done. Yes.
Speaking of Greta Gerwig doing a great job, Demi told me there's a black person in this
There's
movie.
two.
There's
What?
two black people
Yes,
in
and
this
one
movie.
of them talks.
She allowed that?
Yes, right?
Silent. You know what
That's
that
what
is?
I was going to tell you.
Growth.
Well, that's
Greta.
a strong word for what this is.
Greta, you have outdone yourself.
Listen.
Congratulations.
She could have easily made that black woman a slave, and she didn't. So I'm proud of her.
That's true. And she could have easily
The
made
bar
that
was on
man
the
a
floor
white
and
man.
She cleared it.
Because he was a train conductor dude taking tickets. She could have easily made him white.
That's right. The train conductor dude was also
Yeah.
black, and there were black kids in the school that she opens later on in the movie.
It's like, wow.
Wow.
It's almost like there were black people in Boston during that time.
I mean,
Wow,
it
it's
was
like-
the Civil War, though,
Yep.
so you know.
It's almost like black people exist.
Right?
Crazy.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I thought first, somebody who was not interested in that film at first, I actually found it to be very beautifully made. I loved the commentary that Greta Gerwig makes about art and the relationship that women have with art, because I think it's still very topical and relevant to this day. And really like those scenes.
They do that with every installation of Little Women that comes out, though. Each one has each one is framed within the feminist movement of its time. Like this one is about what I got from it is why women don't need your definition of a happy ending, right? We can make our own story, right? That's what I got from this one. The one from the 90s with Winona Ryder was women can actually have it all. And Winona turns down Lori, I think is what his name is, but she ends up meeting her intellectual equal that meets her intellectually where she should be met, and then encourages her in all of her exploits. So each installation of Little Women has this tradition of being framed in the feminist kind of movement of the time, and I like that. I mean, even this one did the same thing, which is also why I wanted to talk about it.
But yeah, it's a really great movie. I do want to say that I can see why women are falling head over heels over Timothée Chalamet. He's really great in this movie. But also Florence Pugh, guys.
She's delightful.
She's
and Amy,
great.
People normally hate Amy. She's usually the huge asshole of the story.
Yeah, well, I think it helps that Greta Gerwig changed up the way that she framed the story timeline-wise, because, if you played that movie chronologically, then, Amy's would come off as the douchebag.
Yeah.
But she frames it in a way where you get to meet Amy at a time in her life where she is responsible and she is a grown adult, instead of watching her be a brat for half a movie.
That's true.
Gabby,
You couldn't see her thighs.
Ooh.
do you have anything to say about Florence Pugh's thighs?
She just did. You couldn't see them.
All right.
Yeah, you couldn't see them. She looked
Is
great.
that
in
why
all
you
her-
were ugly crying? Be honest.
Where are the thighs? No. I was ugly crying because also because like if I could make movies, I would make them like this. Like
Okay.
But with brown people?
yes. Like I like Greta Gerwig's like style is probably what my style would be like if I had that kind of opportunity. So I was like watching it and I was like, "Oh my god, like feelings." I do like that she did the cutting back between timelines because Little Women's just chronological. There's like part 1, part 2. Like intercutting it was great. And then also she did this thing with the color where like when they go back in time, it's like everything's bathed in like really golden light and like their experiences tend to be colored with like positivity. And like the present time is like a little bit like, you know, life has hit them a little bit harder and it's a colder color palette. And I enjoyed that too. When you reach the resolution at the end, it kind of makes it like, it gets tied together very well at the end. And a lot of it has to do with, to me anyway, it helped the way that it was colored. Yes. So you were like, okay, now we're in the past and things are good. And oh, we're in the present and things kind of suck a little bit. So yeah, that was that. And nice. I loved it. Saoirse Ronan was great. Florence Pugh was great. Laura Dern was delightful. It was great. It was a good movie.
Wow, leave out Emma Watson. Why don't you?
Oh, and Emma was great too. She was barely in it though. She's in a
good portion of it.
She had a little moment.
She has
but
a
it
whole
was really,
storyline.
She has a little small one though. Like if we're really looking, it's like
doesn't
Amy
matter
and
how
Joe.
big the storyline is. It's a storyline.
No, I know, but I feel like Florence and
well, yes, that's why
Saoirse
Florence
had
got
bigger-
nominated for
bigger
an Academy
parts.
Award.
I know, but you know they have bigger
Jesus.
bits.
When you say bigger bits, never mind.
Shut up.
Dallas.
In fact, I think Emma Watson's in the movie more than Laura Dern is.
Oh, she definitely is. But I forgot about Emma Watson. Sorry.
You could have just said that.
Yeah, but I also because of how like she just wasn't in it.
We need
as
to
much.
move on.
Moving on. Demi, what's getting you going?
I'm going to keep this as short as possible. I watched The Stranger, which is about this man who is confronted by a stranger who tells him a secret about his wife, which ends up turning his world upside down. And then we come to find out that the stranger just does this to people.
That's fucked up.
And it's great.
Does he go around finding out secrets about people, or does
She-
he just? Oh, okay. But does she make up the thing, or does she actually?
No,
find
she's
out?
legit finding out
What the fuck is
dirt
wrong
on
with
these
this
people.
person?
You come to find out why she does this in particular to him, because there is a reasoning behind why she does this to him, and you find out why she does it to other people too, to be fair, but I don't want to spoil it for people because it's kind of a suspense mystery type of show.
Where can you watch it?
Netflix. It is on Netflix,
nice.
and it's only 8 episodes, and I
Ooh.
don't think they'll get a second season because it's based on a book, so I don't think you need one. But yeah, the stranger is played by Hannah John Kamen, who I love. Richard Armitage is on the show, who I
he's
also
the
love
husband.
because of Castlevania.
The husband, as if you don't have several.
No, not her husband. I think she
sorry.
was on the show.
Yeah.
Ah.
No, I only have one husband. His name is Christopher Evans.
And then
Wow.
Anthony Stewart Head is on the show, and I adore Anthony Stewart Head because of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Merlin. He's just a phenomenal actor, and I think it must be in his contract that all of his children on his TV shows be ridiculously attractive, whether they are
That
surrogate
would
children
be
or
a
biologically.
very creepy thing to have in a contract.
And yet all of his children on TV shows and in movies are really attractive.
Isn't that just TV?
Actors.
Like,
No,
you cast attractive people unless you're making a point that they're not attractive.
because his TV families are the best looking families.
All right.
I feel like that's objective, but okay. Or subjective?
Subjective.
I feel like that's subjective, but okay.
I could give you a list right now, but we're not going to do that. But yeah, that's what I've been watching. If you guys are into suspense mystery shows, check out The Stranger on Netflix. It's very British.
All right. It's a good way to end that. Very British. Next, we have news, because that's what you come to this show for, the news.
Right.
Good news. Knives Out sequel is in development.
That made me so happy to hear.
Yo, same. I love that movie.
I'm like, yes, Benoit Blanc. Or no, what's it? Yeah, Benoit Blanc.
You got it. You need nothing for
I'm
Knives
just happy that Ryan Johnson's getting to do another movie, man. I
Proud
just
of
love
you, Ryan Johnson.
I just love Ryan Johnson.
Also, he wore Porg cufflinks to the Oscars, and it made me so happy.
Ryan Johnson's that dude, and I love his work. He's great. I'm looking forward to a Knives Out sequel. He already said that Ana de Armas will not be back as Marta Cabrera, but I feel like that was obvious.
Yeah, that was
but
kind of
still.
Like, this is kind of like a Agatha Christie series. You don't have the same cast of characters come back in the next one.
It's
Yeah.
not like Psych.
I
Or,
still
you
wanted
know.
it to though.
I mean, I did too, but like,
well, no.
Same.
See, I feel like what he should do
it's been a
Cameo.
while.
is just keep casting her in the sequels as different characters
Ooh,
do an American
like
Horror
an
Story.
anthology.
I want-
kind of a
because
deal.
she's so good.
I want the idea
She
that
really
Colin
is.
gave me while we were watching Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, where Harley Quinn goes up to the police desk and she's like, "I'd like to report a murder," with that accent that she does.
Mm-hmm.
And Colin went, "She has to be in Knives Out too," with that specific accent.
Oh
Another
God, no.
idea while we're talking about them. It was a tweet that said Daniel Craig should have a different accent in every Knives Out
Yes,
movie,
that's the one I
but
want.
with no explanation. And then Ryan Johnson
That's
retweeted
right.
and said, "I'm not gonna lie, I thought about this."
But yes, I'm all here for a Knives Out series,
Yeah.
Yes,
I watch as many
it's
as I
like
want to
a
make.
new Poirot.
Yeah,
but contemporary.
yeah,
Yeah.
better because Benoit Blanc. Moving on to the next part of the news. Sam Raimi is in talks to direct Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Ooh.
I like that enthusiasm.
Wow.
Gabby. Woo.
He directed like Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, he directed
The original
Like
Spider-Man movies.
and a bunch of creepy
All
stuff.
three?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
Sam.
He's 2 for 3.
Sam.
But yeah, he's
Samuel.
he's really in the creepy stuff.
Samothy.
Samothy?
Oh. I don't know. I'm just trying to.
Sam
he
said
did,
you could have gone with.
Evil Dead, Drag Me to Hell, I think was his, Army of Darkness, all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
And they were saying that, well, it varies depending on who you talk to. Either this is the first MCU horror movie or it's just kind of spooky. It has horror elements.
I have a feeling if since it's Marvel MCU, it's probably going to just have horror elements.
Yeah.
If we're
I think
being-
Feige was like, yo, it's not a horror movie.
Yeah.
Kill that talk right now. But, Sam Raimi likes to creep it up. We'll see what he does. Who's going to do it before? It was Derrickson, right?
It was Erickson.
Yeah, the dude from the first one. I'm cool with this.
What happened? Pero por qué no?
Creative differences.
Hey!
Oh, okay.
That sucks. Are we going to cheer every time somebody
Yes!
loses their job over a disagreement?
Yup, apparently.
We have a problematic name.
Is it? I feel like it's great.
Oh,
It's a great name.
It's both.
But Scott Derrickson did congratulate Sam Raimi on getting the job.
Nice.
So
Very nice.
Okay. Aw.
it's not like it was like a big
Bitter.
problem. It was just like,
Yeah, it wasn't like a breakup.
Well,
I mean,
wasn't it?
I don't know. I wasn't
Okay,
there.
it was
I'm the worst.
a platonic one, a very amicable.
Fair,
breakup?
whatever.
Why not?
Vámonos. Vámonos.
It's fine. We're fine.
Yeah, and Derrickson is still the executive producer, so
Okay.
they're still friends.
So
I
you
mean,
still get paid.
That's kind of like David Ayer being the executive producer on the Birds of Prey movie. I doubt
Saw
that
that.
means anything.
You know what? It's Hollywood. You say executive producer, I just assume you did something, or
You worked on a previous movie that has to do with this one.
maybe you were
There you
there
go.
at some point.
You breathed in the general area of the movie, so
the
you get a
general-
credit.
Listen, man, he walked by the set once.
He was there when they talked to him about him not being there.
He
anymore.
drove by and Margot Robbie waved.
I was talking about Doctor Strange at this point.
Oh,
They haven't started filming that one yet, but
yeah.
you know.
So
You're right. Colin, do you have
Me.
any thoughts about any of this news? This is not the last thing. I
he's
just
gonna
wanted
say
check in on
politely
you.
decline.
I mean,
And
Knives
no.
Out was not really my thing,
Right,
so I don't know that I'll see a sequel.
right.
And I don't remember the Spider-Man movies. I haven't seen them in years. So I don't know that I'm going to see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness because it doesn't sound interesting.
Right.
I will, because I want to see Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch interact and do magic things.
Same. Also, I like Doctor Strange a lot more than I did when his movie came out.
Yes.
Because in his movie, he's kind of just annoying. But like in the Avengers
And
movies,
his
he's a lot
accent
more
really
interesting.
bothered me.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. He's more interesting. In
So
the
yeah,
Avengers
now I
movie.
actually want to see a movie follows him.
And if WandaVision is any good, then yeah, I will probably want to see what happens after WandaVision, because that leads you directly into Multiverse of Madness.
Speaking of Marvel TV shows,
Hey,
Gugu Mbatha-Raw was cast in Loki.
we're gonna use her full government name.
We always do.
Gugu, that's how you pronounce it.
Yes,
Okay.
Hopefully.
I hope that's how
If
you
not,
pronounce it.
sorry, Gugu.
Gugu Mbatha-Raw.
Yes.
They got me. Because I was just like, oh, okay, a Loki TV series. All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it because it's Marvel. And then they were like Gugu, and I was like,
And you were like, now I have to
you
watch
got
it.
me. Well, no, I was already in. I have to watch it, but now I'm like, oh, you got me. Now I'm interested
Oh, okay.
because I love Gugu, and I've been waiting for Gugu to do something big time superhero related. So, because she was up for Black Canary,
Oh, that's cool.
and I was actually rooting for her. No offense, Journey, but Journey did a fantabulous job.
She did.
But yeah, so now Gugu's gonna be doing superhero stuff, and that's what I desire.
Nice.
That's what's up. I mean, I might watch the Loki show. I've grown to like the character more as he's grown to be less annoying to me.
But that's not the version we're getting.
Wait, hold on.
I
Hold
know.
on.
Which version are we getting?
You've grown to like the character more as he's. That's like a circular
That's
statement.
gotten less annoying.
You've grown to like him more because he's
Less of
become
himself.
less dislikable.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's how that goes.
And what I think Marvel is going to do,
Unlikable, I guess, not dislikable.
fair.
Anyway.
Is give people the version that, well, I don't know. Because a lot of people did like the original,
Had all the fangirls
Yes.
like going nuts.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was one of those.
all the Tumblr girls.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they do. I'll wait for Demi to recommend the show. Gabby, any thoughts on Loki? Your
I'm
boy?
excited. I wanted to watch it. I like Loki. I was one of those fangirl
You were.
Tumblr girls, people's.
Owen Wilson's in the show, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Moving on.
Wow.
Oh, we're still going.
You got some more wild in you?
Wow.
God.
There we go.
I'm half delirious.
Are you wowed out?
Wow.
Oh, I guess not.
No, move on.
I just want you guys to know, anytime you hear me say "wow," it's definitely a reference to Owen Wilson.
We figured that from the context.
Okay, great.
You got any wows in you, Colin?
No.
Okay, cool.
That's Gabby's thing.
Onward.
The Oscars happened,
They did.
Woo.
and y'all gonna talk about it.
I was delightfully surprised by Parasite winning. I honestly thought it was going to be 1917. I'd already resigned to it.
Yo,
was
I
like,
had
wow.
to. I was like, they really gonna give it to 1917 when Parasite deserves it.
Well, I saw 1917. I was like, you know what? If this movie wins Best Picture, you know what? That's fine. Like, I get why, and I'm fine with it.
But Parasite.
But I hadn't seen Parasite, so I can't really comment on Parasite other than I'm surprised that the Academy voted for that.
because usually they don't like subtitles.
They don't like subtitles, and they also really love war epics. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
they really, really like them.
To be honest, yeah, that was the most surprising thing that happened to me in the entirety of the Oscars. Because, I mean, I guessed 21 out of 24 of the award wins that night. So
Yeah, I guess 15 out of 24.
I wasn't
So.
too surprised until that happened. And then I was like, oh, snap. They chose correctly.
Yeah, and also Bong Joon-ho
Yes.
was just so surprised by I think the third or fourth,
By the third award.
by
When
the
he
third
got
award,
Best
was
Director.
Like, what the hell? Yeah, when he got Best Director, he was like, this is wild, you guys. Like, wow.
Wow, son.
And I was just like super proud of him and everybody.
Everything won that almost everything won that I anticipated. Sound editing was also another surprise for me.
Why?
Because typically they don't know the difference between sound editing and sound mixing typically. So they usually just give them both to the same movie. And if you're a war movie, even
You're
more
winning.
so. So it was like, it's kind of like big sound must be good.
But Ford versus Ferrari.
Ford versus Ferrari
had a
won
lot of-
sound editing
Yeah.
and 1917 won sound
Sound
mixing.
mixing.
I thought 1917 was going to get both.
Yeah, I did too.
So yeah, that was the thing that happened. So that one surprised me too. But those were the only two surprises that I had for the night.
I was really, I wasn't surprised that Hair Love won, but it made me really happy that Hair Love won.
I was very
the
happy as
animated
well.
Short. That was really cute. And other than that, it was it was a good evening. My favorite part was, what do you call it? Maya Rudolph and,
Oh, that was a great presentation.
Hilarious. And I want them to host together.
I was
an
also
award show.
very, very surprised by Eminem suddenly singing
That was
Lose Yourself.
That was the most random thing that's ever happened in the history of award shows.
He won that, 17 years ago?
Yes.
Yes.
18.
18.
17. It
I
was
think it's 2003.
2003.
No, I think they specifically.
Wait.
Yeah, that would be.
It's
oh,
2003. It is
wait. They specifically said 18 years ago. The movie came out 18 years ago?
Yeah,
maybe?
the movie came out
That's
maybe
what it
18
was.
years ago.
Yeah. But he won 17 years ago.
Yeah, that was because it was a montage of songs from movies that you can recognize from the first 8 bars. Like you can just hear a snippet of it and you
okay.
know exactly what the song is. So it was a montage of those. And then it got to the end and you hear Lose Yourself start and it goes on for a while.
And you're like,
but it's just the instrumental. I wasn't even thinking that. Me and my brother were sitting there going, play the actual song. Play the song. Don't play us right now. Play
and then they
start
played
the lyrics.
the song.
But then they stopped it, and me and my brother went, "What are you doing? Play the actual lyrics." And then they went on to another clip from a different movie, and then they went back to Eminem on stage starting to perform, and I was just like, oh my God.
And I was like, why?
Because he didn't perform it the first time when he actually won the
like,
award, because he didn't show up.
Yeah, he was like...
Because he didn't think he was going to win, and he did. And here we are 17 years later, and now he's finally on stage. If you had one shot, well, he got a second one, and he took it.
Nice.
And it was great.
A second opportunity. Mom spaghetti.
And it was... It was great. I was like, I can't believe everybody is sitting down for this, though. I'd had to get up at one point. I'd have been like, I don't know. Is it a rule that y'all can't get up? Because...
I mean, it's the Oscars. It's not the Grammys.
Yeah.
It's a different
I don't care.
group of people. It's a bunch of
I don't care. I was really happy that Gal Gadot was singing along. Kelly
nice.
Marie Tran was singing along. Anthony Ramos and Jasmine Cephas Jones were singing along. There were like a few people in the audience that I was like, thank you for having the reaction that I would have.
I wish you could have seen that part of the 3-hour ceremony.
I mean, it's on. I sent it.
You sent the video?
I did. It's in our group chat.
Yep.
I'll go through that.
It was just really random, and I was like, why? But why these Oscars? Like, I understand like doing it on like a 10th anniversary or 15th anniversary of it, being like, you know what, Eminem, here's your second chance. But like the 7th,
they were like, y'all. They were like, nah, we're gonna start the decade off right. Let's go.
I guess.
I don't care. It happened, and I was excited. But I think that's all we have to talk about.
Yeah.
For today.
Colin, do you have any Oscar thoughts? You watched the Oscars, right?
You did.
I did. This was one of the years where I didn't have a horse in any race, because the movies that I did see, I didn't like enough to be like, I really want that to win. You know?
Yo, I'm sorry. Congrats to Taika Waititi on winning Best Adapted Screenplay. Because Jojo Rabbit was great.
Yeah.
Continue, Colin.
Anyway, yeah. So that's the problem, is the first 5 minutes were great, and the rest of it was just like, and now there's an award show happening. Dang it.
I didn't even see the first 5 minutes, so.
The Janelle Monáe performance was the best part of that evening, and then the rest
amazing.
of it was just like, all right.
The only part of that performance that bummed me out was like when she tried to do an audience thing and none of the audience was participating, and I was like, you assholes. This is televised. Just participate. Who cares?
Nah, they're not about it.
Ugh.
Yeah. You know, it's the Oscars, not the Grammys. Why did she perform? What did she perform?
Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also some of her own music.
Yeah.
For reasons that were weird.
Well, probably because Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood is so short.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Just like, you did an Oscars thing, and then, well, I'm already here, so like.
Yep.
All right.
They always start with a song. That's why. Like, the Oscar starts with a song. That's why she performed. And
that
it's
makes
usually,
sense.
yeah, it's usually one of the nominated songs, but I guess not this time.
Why not? Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you, audience, for listening to all that, as always. Let us know what you thought about Birds of Prey and the Oscars, all that other stuff we talked about. Woo. Thank you to Crown... Thank you, Gabby, for that woo. Thank you to Crown Digital, Brandon and Io for putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thank you to Demi for editing and suggesting we talk about the Oscars so we can get that boomer audience for this podcast. Thank you, Colin, for sharing in my joy in regards to the Harley Quinn show. And thank you, Gabby, for fighting through your delirious state to do this recording with us.
Hopefully I'll make it through the weekend.
Doesn't sound like it. Not the way you said that. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. You can find us on Twitter at y'all_different. You can find us on Tumblr at Creative Differences Podcast. And you can find us on Facebook at Creative Differences, because that's our name. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at a king named Simba.
You can find me on Twitter at Duck McGuck.
Find me, Gabby, on Instagram at Stegosaurus.
And you guys can find me at Dreamy Films on Twitter and Instagram. Dreamy spelled DREEMI. Forgot to mention that the Birds of Prey soundtrack slaps. And thanks for listening.
Bye.
It's been different.
Yeah, it's been different.